Hey, Sifgaris here. Today I've got some exciting news. Kaga has officially announced the next Vestaria Saga title, Vestaria Saga Gaiden, Norden Civil War. Although technically this game was announced on June 24th, majority of the community did not realize it until just recently, because nothing gets announced in English, so we gotta go scouring Japanese websites to find this information. So, the story in this game is about the Civil War in the Northern Kingdom, and takes place during the events of the other Gaiden, Holy Sword of Sylvanister. The game will feature a large-scale war between the 7 tribal nations of Norden for control of the kingdom. There apparently will not be a main character, and instead we'll see things from multiple character viewpoints, something like Game of Thrones. One bit we could probably get out of the way now is that Norden Civil War is not an SRPG, but a territory-based game, which Kaga states it plays more similarly to something like Nobunaga's Ambition than a Fire Emblem title. Which, no, that doesn't mean future entries in the series will also be in the style. I find it pretty unlikely. Kaga states that he wanted to try something new, and who knows, maybe some of the features from this game will return in future installments in some shape or form if they turn out well. But yeah, that means the game will likely involve moving armies around a map of Norden and capturing territories controlled by the enemy factions while trying to defend your own borders. Judging from the articles, it sounds like when armies meet in battle, the combat will be played out automatically, so the main strategy of the game will revolve around proper army movements, bringing the right type of soldiers to specific battles, and resource management. There's apparently 40 playable characters, so all of them might be able to control their own separate squads, but it's also possible that each faction leader will just control one squad, which all other characters are a part of. Hard to say right now. Due to the nature of this type of game, it's likely be easier than the previous titles, as the gameplay will be less complex and has an absence of permadeath. The game is apparently using SLG Maker instead of SRPG Studio, which I'm unclear if it's a completely different engine, or if SLG Maker is a plugin for SRPG Studio, but whatever. It also sounds like he's hired a new artist and programmer, which is always good to hear. The game is scheduled to release by the end of 2020, but it doesn't have a solid release date, so it's completely possible it'll get pushed back. But let's hope not. Anyways, so we have 20 screenshots accompanying this blog post by Kaga, including the title screen here, so let's take a look at those. Although, I'll say right now I've translated some of the text, but not near all, as the poor image quality has given me headaches from squinting too hard while translating this, so whatever. I'm sure if I missed anything important, someone will point it out. Alright, so here we can see a map of the territories. We can see some green-controlled territories and some red ones to the north. A bunch of white territories are also present, which are likely unclaimed, but it is possible that white is just another faction. It's hard to say. And if we look at the bottom, we can see a couple of number values. From what I can tell, these numbers are for the most part resource counters and income per turn. And also see some caves over here, which these caves might be dungeons, which were briefly mentioned in the blog post. Or it might just be a quick way to like travel in between areas. It looks like there also might be some sort of a settlement inside of the, like on top of the mountain or inside the mountain. Not sure. Alright, next we have a dialogue box from a new character who seems to translate to Dorgon. Kind of weird name, so might be localized to something different, but who knows. Here's my attempt of translating his dialogue. I think he's saying something along the lines of, "Listen man, I made this choice because I can't accept this." What can't he accept? I don't know, whatever. It's one of the things, most of these things are out of context, so a lot of this dialogue's not gonna make much sense. But we're gonna just go with it. Alright, not much to look at here. It's just another view of the map, but an important thing to notice is that there's a blue faction right here, which means that there might be 7 different colors total for the 7 different tribes. But who knows? Also, we can see some armies on this map, which is interesting. Alright, number 4. Here we get introduced to another new character who seems to be Alan Mark. There's no way he gets localized to that, but fuck it, I'm just gonna go with that for now. Also, might be worth mentioning that Alan Mark is from the Blue faction and possibly the leader of that faction, or at the very least, probably the prince. Hard to say exactly. And I had a hard time understanding him, but I think he's saying something like, Gale, don't make the enemies suffer in front of the lady or something? I don't know. Or he's yelling something at Gale at least. And yes, Gale is definitely a character that is just not pictured here. Alright, next. Here we see Alan Mark again engaged in a battle screen with what appears to be some dire boars, so we will likely be seeing monsters as either their own faction or maybe working with a more insidious northern tribe. In this screenshot we can see the familiar face of Bjorn, who has made multiple appearances in the series, but seems he might finally be playable to an extent. This would also imply Marlena is either also playable or kidnapped by someone, and therefore giving Bjorn motivation in this fight. And here's another character with the same face as Cromwell G, and many more. Here we have Count Madden, I think. Here's a quick translation attempt. You shouldn't worry about something or someone, not sure which, but just to be on the safe side. And here we have, I think, King Lagos? Not gonna translate this one, but he seems to mention Madden at some point, so they're likely affiliated to some extent. Here we are back at the main map. This seems to be a tutorial on how to play. I'm probably not going to translate this one, but it seems to outline some game elements like shopping in towns that your faction occupies and imprisoning enemy units and having said prisoners eventually maybe join your army or work in prison camps or whatever. Unlike the earlier battle with Almark, this map looks kind of actually like an SRPG. I do believe the blog post mentioned something about dungeons. This might be involved with that. Maybe this is you selecting units to enter the dungeon, or maybe this is a battle preps for some town defense thing. I'm not sure. Alright, now this one has to be a dungeon. It's the same size as the previous map, so maybe that city was classified as a dungeon? Who knows? Whatever. Next, here we have a dialogue choice. The first one seems to be send Yudi to Alan, and third seems to be saying something about have them work in labor camp and earn you 100 gold a turn. So by all accounts, this looks like the aforementioned prison. I'm not going to bother translating all of this, so we're just going to leave it at that. I'm pretty sure this is just the prison menu. Anyways, next. So here we have a chat log between Alan Mark and I assume his comrades. I'll just try to give a quick rundown, but yeah, it's just going to be a rundown. First, we have an unnamed woman saying something like, oh, father, or something like that. Something about her father. And then this red-haired girl named Kate yells at Alan Mark about something. Alan Mark replies to Kate and then yells at Gale. It's the same dialogue bubble that was shown earlier yeah, Alan Mark talked about Gale. And then just Gale responds by agreeing to Alan. And then Alan Mark then asks Kate to do something, which is where I found her name. She then just says yes, and finally Alan Mark says, let's move. Obviously there's more details in here, but these blurry letters are just too hard for me to decipher, and plus the details don't really have value out of context anyways. And also, who knows, maybe there's spoilers here. Here we have Maria, which is incredibly similar to Marianne and Marianne. That might be relevant, or might just be similar names. Anyways, looks like there's a Hydra alongside the player army, making it possible that we'll be able to hire monsters to fight alongside our army, or complete side objectives to have them join our side. So, interesting note. Next. So in this one we have a new character named Forrest, which sounds incredibly similar to Thoros from Holy Sword of Sylvanister. But more important than him, are those fucking bunnies? If bunnies are hireable troops, 10 out of 10 game of the year. And here we see Merida, returning. She seems to have a personal weapon that's not the dandelion, and is dismounted, but she seems to have a trinket in her inventory that might allow her to switch between mounted and non-mounted like the Flyers could in Holy Sword of Sylvanister. Her description reads something like a famous warrior from Lestia, Princess Marianne's cousin. And interesting to note that in our bond section you can see Alicia's name listed, meaning Alicia is likely a playable unit and might even be that unit standing right next to her that looks like the same sprite, but it's another thing. Hard to tell with the blurry, hard to tell with the blurry sprites. Another new character here named Larai or Laura. Judging from her hair color, it's possible she's related to Merida in some way. Could just be coincidence. Not much else to say here other than her dialogue box reads, "Ah." We have one last new character here. Her name is Sonati or Zonati, or something completely different. Who knows? She seems to be yelling at the enemy forces to get out or get away, and then casting some sort of spell. But all there is here. And for the final screenshot, we have another returning character by the name of Ervin. Hard to tell what he's doing so far from Solus, but judging from him hiding his face, he likely doesn't want to be noticed. Also, in this screen I find it interesting that the ally units are in the top left corner as opposed to the middle like most of the other screenshots. If I had to guess, maybe it's something akin to battle preps and arranging your formation before your units enter the center and engage the enemy forces. Or who knows. Alright, and for the last thing of the video, let's take a look at the confirmed and unconfirmed characters. First, the new characters. Alan Mark, Dorgon, Horus, Larai, Maria, Sonati, Gale, Kate, and currently unnamed woman. We also have King Largos and Count Madden, but they're both reused sprites, so I'd imagine they're not playable, so I'll just put them to the side here. Also, I don't have a portrait for this one, as she hasn't appeared yet, but I find it very likely we'll see Merida's cousin Marianne, as Merida's profile specifically mentions her by name, so I think she at least has some relevancy here and has a chance of being playable. Next, we have 3 confirmed returning characters, Merida, Bjorn, and Ervin. Now, for the unconfirmed returning characters, first off, Eddard. There's no way he's not playable, as this whole conflict revolves around him. But because he's not in one of the screenshots, I'll place him here instead of confirmed. Alicia is also listed in Merida's bonds, and her sprite appears to be present in at least one screenshot, so it's very likely we're gonna see her return as well. And then Leonka should be wherever Eddard is, so it's highly possible she's also playable, but it's also possible Eddard forced her to stay away from the battlefield for her own safety, or something like that. Next, Marlena is the same as Leonka. It's hard to imagine she'd be far from Bjorn, so there's a good chance we'll see her as a playable character as well. I'm pretty sure we'll also see the return of Gemma at some point, as he was seen last in 6X of Holy Sword of Sylvanister after he'd recovered from his near-fatal injuries in Vestaria Saga 1. He swore to Nefia that he'll ride to Norden and help unite Norden under Eddard's flag, so probably gonna see him. And on the same note, this one's a little more unlikely, but we could also see Nefia make an appearance as well, as she both cares for Gemma and her sister Leonka. But she also doesn't wish anybody from Norden to know of her existence, as that could damage her family's reputation, so I'd imagine she wouldn't want to do something so risky, but she does have a horse in this race, so I definitely don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. And lastly, this one mostly just a shot in the dark, but I doubt Ervin came to Norden without reason. It's possible he just wishes to help out his former ally Eddard, but he never really interacted with Eddard in Vestaria Saga 1. So I think what's more likely is that maybe Holland did something stupid, and he's off to Norden to bring her back safely. Something like that. But it's also possible Silton just sent him on an undercover mission of some sort. Who knows though? It's a possibility that we'll see Holland. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Alright, and I believe that's it. I'm quite excited for this game. But this also means I gotta step up my speed on translating the Holy Sword of Sylvanister. Don't want to still be working on that when this comes out. Yeah, so I'll likely be covering any new information that comes out on this game. And as I've mentioned, I've been translating the Holy Sword of Sylvanister. So if you'd like to keep updated on those, please subscribe. And yeah, see ya!